Hi everyone, and welcome to Game Plan, the podcast where we sit down with young athletes and ask them what it really means to live, breathe, and grow with a sport. Whether you're chasing a career in it or just looking to enjoy it more as a fan, we are here to explore the stories, the struggles, and the small moments that make every sport more than just a game. I'm Snow, and let's dive in. Hello, Philip. Let's say hi to your fans.
Hello.
And could you do a little self-intro?
Yeah, sure. My name is Philip. I'm currently a senior at UNC Chapel Hill, and I'm majoring in biostatistics and mathematics. And after graduation, I'll be off to Seattle to pursue a PhD degree in statistics. And well, for sports, I played soccer, I played tennis, and I have played Quidditch before. It's a real sport. And yeah, happy to share my experience with all the sports in my life.
Cool. Welcome, Philip. How did you first get into tennis? What drew you to the sport?
That's a really good question. I think it's in my elementary school. There was just one time, all of a sudden, I think some tennis coaches like stepped into our classroom. They were trying to, I guess, promote their program or something. So they basically told us like, who wants to get involved in the sports? That's really cool. You got to hit a ball with a racket or something. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty interested. And I think my parents were also really supporting me because they thought it's like really helpful for me to get into a sports, and that could be help me get more healthy and help me learn how to get through the difficulties in my life. One thing led to another. So among I think there were 5 or 4 classmates of mine that took that tennis class with me, but like I'm pretty sure I was the only one that kept playing it. So that was like second grade, and like I'm still playing it right now. And yeah, I think like the main parts, like I've been training most frequently during my elementary school, and that was kind of serious. Like I played in the cities tournament, I played in the provincial tournament, and I think at that time I was like a half professional or something. Yeah, and after the provincial tournament in my 5th grade, I think there was a time that the coaches just talked to my parents or something, so asking whether I want to go pro or I want to just keep it as a hobby. And I'm pretty sure they chose to keep it as a hobby, which like I agree with them. Like at that time I just thought sometimes I just thought tennis is really energy consuming and it's difficult, and like your mood could go back and forth. So like one day you're really good at it, and the other day you cannot hit the ball over the net, especially when you're like 10 years old. Like you cannot control your emotions that well, so sometimes can get really tough. Yeah.
So is that decision made mainly by your parents, like after elementary school?
I think so. Yeah. It's like 5th grade. So at that time, I was also like preparing to get into some of the good middle schools, right? So I need to prepare for the entrance examinations or something like that. And I don't think we ever talked about this, but like for me, I have never have this really strong opinion that I just want to do tennis for the rest of my life. I think it's just something that I can have fun for like 1 or 2 hours every day, and also I think I did not hate studying that much, so that I will like just get into sports and then never come back. So I guess that decision is quite natural, I would say. And also like you may know that it's really a really not a common track for a Chinese kid to become a pro, because you need to start at a really young age. I think like starting from at least middle school, like right out of elementary school, you need to enter some sort of sports schools where you spend like 4 or 5 days, 4 or 5 hours per day, and like 5 days a week to like train your sports to maintain expertise. So at the same time, it's like you really do not have the chance to receive like that good education. So I think most parents, Chinese parents, would just like choose to keep this as a hobby. I have like friends from elementary school that they just chose the pro track, which I actually do not know how they're doing right now. But I've heard that they're like just it's really tough. It's a tough decision to make, and like nothing is easy, especially competitive sports. So there are like all of those difficulties that you need to be willing to make, or those sacrifice. Yeah, and I think a more common way is to keep tennis as a hobby, and hopefully you keep practicing so that you'll be good enough to earn like there are some like point deductions. So if you have a specialty in sports, so it'll be easier to get into certain colleges because like certain colleges in China because you'll be like playing on their varsity team, stuff like that. So that's like a more common path like most of my peers they will take. So they just keep playing, but like not that intensely, maybe like 3 or 4 times a week, and they try to compete in the provincial tournament to get a title. So there's like a national level 2 tennis athlete or something that's going to be really helpful for your future academic career, like specifically into getting to college. I think that's a more common path, at least for the tennis players that I know. Yeah.
Cool. So we know you practice frequently in elementary school, and you're playing club tennis right now in the college. So what happens between these two periods? Like what happens in your middle, junior, or senior high school?
Yeah, for middle school, I try to play like 2 or 3 times a week. But at that time, it's just like I've been growing taller and like maybe with more power. So it's actually like making it harder and harder for me to like stick to my previous techniques or previous motions I learned as a 7 years old. So that's actually a really difficult period. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to quit like more than one time, but I think my dad just like told me to hang on and to just keeping it. And entering high school, like I got like even heavier burden from academics. So like the frequency declined to maybe once or twice a week. So it's like, I think one thing is like it's less serious, so I don't have to keep it as a goal to like perform super well every time. It's more like just a chance for me to move around or to get familiar with the ball, like to run around, to sweat a little bit. So that's like more leisure, I would say, something like that. And after I went to UNC and I saw there was a club tennis. I just thought it's a really good way to make friends or something like that. So I went to the tryouts, which is actually pretty competitive. So I was like worrying a little bit that I could not make it. But then I did, and it was pretty nice. We had optional practice every weekday. So basically, like if you want to play tennis, you can just grab your racket and just go to the court, which is pretty nice. And I think everyone on club tennis is like really kind. They will not require you to like hit a winner every time, right? So everybody's just like having fun. We're trying to make friends through tennis. So I think that's that really is a really ideal environment, I think, for me to play tennis. And actually the frequency increases a little bit from high school. Like on my freshman sophomore year, when I have more time, I will try to go to practices like 3 times a week or something. And yeah, it's been a really fun experience. And I think club tennis is like the main source of American friends that I've been making at UNC. So it actually helped me a lot with either my spoken English or other just getting to know more American friends, getting to know more about the culture is really important. I recommend anyone that's interested to just come to our tryout. It's a really great sports club experience, I guess.
Okay, let's go into club tennis a little bit deeper. So I think you're the treasurer of the club. What's that experience like, and how do you feel about that as an Asian in a all-American club tennis?
Well, it's not like all American. Like we have a lot of like Asian lineages, but like they were born in America, right? American born Chinese or Indians. It's true that they don't have that many I would say foreign players, like international players in club. But I don't think like anybody is like making a big deal of it. It's just like, we don't care about where it come from. We just care about like how good it can hit the ball, right? So like I haven't felt like uncomfortable any time. And for the treasurer, well, you know, it's just like the master of coin. So I need to keep a record of all the expenses and all the revenues we make as a club, and I need to write a lot of checks. So we do guest reimbursements for whenever people we have members drawing other people's to tournaments or social events. So we do that. So basically, like we're just trying to get a better experience for everyone. We collect dues from everyone, and then we use that dues to purchase equipment, to purchase balls, and to maybe host some team social events. So basically, just try to make this whole club a more close-knit community and try to make everybody enjoy it. So I'll say I really enjoy being the treasurer. It's basically I'm trying to save money for the club, I'll say, and also I have to submit some funding requests to the undergraduate student government. So basically it's just trying to convince them to give us more money to support the club as a whole, because like we are a really important part of the student experience at UNC. So the university is really supportive of the club sports. So it's as treasurer, it's my goal, it's my mission to try to make as much revenues as possible, and then to balance the expenses, try to not go broke. And I think right now it's not broke yet. So yeah, I think I'm doing an okay job, I guess.
So I haven't played tennis before, but I've heard from my friends that they're all saying that tennis is a really expensive game. Can you be a treasurer of yourself, kind of do a math calculation, run us through your expenses spent on tennis training throughout elementary school to like college life?
Wow. Are we considering inflation?
Well, just talk about like where you find a coach and how is the session, like how do you pay, like is it expensive, or like nowadays how's it like if you want to play tennis with a coach, and how's the expense like?
Yeah, I haven't been that exposed to like the amount of money my parents are paying, but like I can get a sense, I guess. So, like for elementary school, I'm like playing like on a team. So that team is like it's like the city's team. Like we're preparing for the provincial tournament, and I'm not quite sure like how much that would cost, but like I said, entering middle school, like I no longer train on that team. So like my parents need to find like coaches, and for coaches, I think it's 200 yuan, like the Chinese currency per hour. Is it per hour? Yeah, maybe it's per hour. It depends on like the level of the coaches, and also you need to like rent the court, and I think the court it's not that bad, because like the community we live in have this one tennis court. So basically you just need to go to the community office, and then you need to pay for like a specific card, and on each card I think it's $300, and you got like 20 hours on it, which is like super cheap. I'm gonna say, like if you just try to rent a court maybe elsewhere in China, it's just not gonna be that cheap. But I do know that especially in America, there are like much more free tennis courts. I guess it's just tennis is like a bigger sports here, and there are more sports facilities as a whole. So I think I don't think it would be too hard to find a free court to play on in America, but well, depends on where you are. Like the Boston courts were really crowded, so you need to like wait for a long time. And for American tennis coaches, I actually do not know. My guess would be like around like $50 to $100 per hour. Also depends on the level of the tennis coaches. I think for China, it says there aren't that many professional tennis coaches, so they will like charge you higher. But for America, like a lot of people used to play tennis, or like a lot of my friends from club tennis, they are like serving as coaches as a way to make money. So it's not that rare to find a tennis coach. Yeah, and well, for club tennis, we we can just use the university course, which is pretty nice. And oh, and tennis balls. Usually, I think if you play with a high level, it will take you like well 5 hours to consume like 2 or 3 balls, and I think each can of balls is like not that. It's like $5 at most, and it containing like 3 tennis balls. So that's like a part of the expenses. Yeah.
Cool. You said you played tennis since second grade, like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
Do you think if you want to go professional, do you think that time like early or late?
I think it's the common time. Like I've been following some pro tennis players, and usually like the starting time is like 6 or maybe 7, because like if you're younger, it could be hard for you to even like grab a tennis racket, right? And I think yeah, just when you are starting elementary school, that's when like physically you should be more ready, and you're started to actually be able to learn things, because like tennis is like it requires a lot of learning procedure, and so I was saying that's a good time point to start if you want to go pro. But like if you really want to do professionals, then like ever since you're like 5 or 6, like tennis should be like a part of your life. You just need to like continue to improve.
Cool. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to start playing tennis?
Yeah, like the first thing is just do not be too do not like rush yourself into it, because like I think tennis is one of the sports that's like more difficult to learn, because like I also play soccer. I think soccer is like more intuitive. Like it's not that hard to like kick the ball properly. But in tennis, it's a really tedious procedure to get to learn how to hold the racket, and then how to know like where the ball is gonna be, and then how to like swing your racket properly to hit a nice shot. Usually, like when I started to play tennis, it's common to be learning tennis for like 3 or 4 months without even touching a tennis ball, because like you'll be spending all those time on like how to handle your racket and how to make a swing, and yeah, so definitely prepare for the whole process to take a little bit long, but once you get into that, I think you start to enjoy it, well, because like you can basically choose your own pace of tennis. Like you can decide whether you're playing like really fast balls or really just high lobbings, so everybody's like more chill. But you have to have a really good foundation of all the motions, the rackets, and your experience to be able to tell like where the ball is gonna land, and all of those will take time, right? So if you're interested in tennis, I think it's pretty nice. You just get to spend as many time as you can on the court to get familiar with every detail of the game, and then eventually I think you'll get it, like to how to keep the ball moving. Yeah.
So you just mentioned you also enjoy playing soccer. So how do these two sports compare for you, and which sport do you love more?
That's a good question. That depends on my mood. Like if I'm better at tennis somehow, then definitely tennis. But like, so soccer is like, first of all, it's like a team sports, right? So for tennis, I usually play singles, so it's all about me. But for soccer, I think it's a better opportunity to make friends and to make connections, and it's also easier to get into, right? It doesn't take you that much to learn to play soccer, and well, I would say like physically, soccer might be more demanding depending on like the level of game you're in, and depending on like how serious you are playing soccer, you can just play pickup and then just do not run for like the whole game. But also you can play some leagues and then you're required to sprint for like 90 minutes, which is really a big requirement for our physical energy. But for tennis, I think it's more balanced. Like it's like in each point you get to sprint a little bit or you got to rest a little bit. So it's I think tennis might be a smaller demand for your physical conditions, while soccer, if you want to be really serious, then it's gonna demand a lot more. But in terms of like how rewarding are those two sports, then like for me, I think it's not I'm biased because like I definitely spend like way more time on tennis than on soccer, so it'll be easier to gain the reward or to enjoy the sports in tennis than in soccer, because like there are always someone, well, who can just dribble past me, and that's like annoys you like when you're playing soccer, right? But for tennis, it's like harder for me to get like totally destroyed. So for me, I would say like maybe I'll prefer tennis a little bit more, but it also like depends on like what I think I need. Like if I just need to move around or to sweat a little bit, then either is pretty good. But if I feel like I need to talk to people, to interact with everyone, I think soccer is a really good way to because you get into a game, there are like 10 of your teammates and 11 opponents, so and it's basically your job to interact with every one of them and then to try to collaboratively establish a good game playing. So I would say there are like different kinds of sports, but I mean, if you want to have fun, you can definitely do so in both of them. It depends on like your specific requirement or preference, I guess.
Cool. So outside of sports, what's the focus of your college life? Like, do you have a game plan for the future?
Well, right. I'll say research, because I'm going to a PhD degree, so I better be interested in research. Well, I think like starting in college, I did not know what I wanted to study, and so I chose statistics and then mathematics, because usually your Asian parents will tell you like those are the two really I think versatile subjects. So if you're good in math, there are a bunch of things that you can do, like all the STEM majors that you can consider. So that's what I did. And what happened is that I'm actually feeling pretty good about myself, like taking all those math courses. So I think that kind of gave me confidence to pursue like a graduate degree. And at the same time, I'm quite interested in biology. I don't know if that came from my previous sports exposure. It's just like so at the beginning I was interested in how human body functions. One part is because I've been injured multiple times. Well, not that serious injuries, but obviously your body is able to repair itself. So I'm kind of interested in learning how that works. And later there were several influencers on Chinese internet. They were sharing about the evolution, or like the natural history. So basically like how human beings evolved from a fish to like a monkey and then to us. And I'm quite interested in that. So to combine like my interest in biology and then mathematics, I switched to a biostatistics major. Yeah, another region is I guess has a really good ranking on U.S. news, but that's just it. And so as I get more research opportunities, I found that doing those scientific research is quite interesting. It's basically like you got exposed to a problem, and then you can search online. You can like browse like what other people did, and then ultimately come up with a solution of your own to try to solve those curiosities that you have, or maybe just those biomedical problems that you have. So I really enjoy this problem-solving process, and I have learned that to be able to be more involved, to be more skillful in this process, usually like a graduate degree is usually preferred. So like that's the main and also I've been doing research, so I have been following this track. So that all led me applying to grad school like last semester, and well, it's a difficult process, but I'm pretty glad with like what I got. So we'll see what happens in 4 or 5 years. Hopefully I don't quit. Well, I don't think. Yeah, I think like sports told me to just to stick to your goals. And during elementary school, there are a few moments I feel like there's like nothing could be more difficult than tennis. So it's like if it's like academics, it's just like give me like 1 week like sitting in a room, I can like figure that out. But sometimes if it's tennis and you just do not know how to swing the racket, then you just cannot do it. So I think that's part of the athlete experience have gave me like more resilience, especially in academics, and that's also I think a really preferred capability in research. So hopefully I can blend my athletic part into this research, and then see if I can make it.
Let's talk about the environment, the universities you are currently in and you are going to. Like we have UNC and University of Washington in Seattle. Like what's the sports vibe here at UNC, and what do you expect to gain from University of Washington?
Like UNC is like known as like one of the biggest like sports schools, and I really love like the sports environment here. Like we're basically D1 in every sports that you can think of, and it's we have a really great fan base. So I think it's really enjoyable for me to be a part of that fan base and to cheer for the Tar Heel teams. For Washington, like I'm not sure yet, but like they're also like a big state public university, so they should be also big in sports, maybe in different sports. I say, like I actually Googled about it. I think their biggest sports it's rowing, which I don't know that well, but it's interesting to find out. It's rowing and maybe football. So I think like the sports environment could be. I think like both universities, they value the sports environment and they value the sports programs. But in terms of your experience, I think UNC is definitely the better school on average on all of the sports. I'm actually going to a tennis match against Duke this afternoon. Really looking forward to that. But for Washington, I think compared to UNC, Washington has like a few sports programs that are really competitive. So what happens then? Usually people will just like focus on those sports programs, which is pretty nice as well. I think like it'll be easier to find a UW football fan than to find a UW like basketball fan, I guess. But like you can also like get a really good experience, I guess, going to a football game as well. But like I think one good thing about UNC is that basically whatever sports you're interested in or you have experience in, you can basically find a really good team and you can go cheer for them. So that's definitely a bonus for UNC. But I'm a Tar Heel and I'm a Husky, so I won't say bad things about any of the schools. But yeah, well, as I'm still at North Carolina, I would say UNC is a better sports school in my opinion, which might change, but I'll just say that for now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Philip, for being here today and doing this protest with us. And hope you have a wonderful 5 years in Seattle. And thanks for joining us on Game Plan from the tennis court to the club office. Today's episode reminds us that sports in college can be more than competition. It's also about community, leadership, and fun.